should probably do this later, when I'm not so mad, and when there's not rush hour traffic 10 feet this direction. But I'm gonna see what happens. As fucking if it were not bad enough that over half of women with my skin tone, okay, that is insulting enough. Not that I am surprised, again, but it is still insulting. The thing that has me triggered is that I just read some shit about my generation, Gen X. We out-boomered boomers on voting for a goddamned fascist. I was there, okay? I was born in 1971, all right? I was there. I know what we went through. I know. I remember it all. I do. And I remember 1989 was the first year I was able to vote. And I was so proud because my daddy used to always tell me, you don't vote, you don't get to bitch. And the other thing that my daddy always used to say about me is, you just bitch, moan, and complain about everything. Yeah. So, fix it. What the fuck, Gen X? What the actual fuck, Gen X? When did you turn into weak-willed, weak-kneed fucking posers? I mean, I know that they are out there. I grew up with y'all. I see you. Okay? That's one of the reasons why I started making these fucking videos, is because apparently y'all need some fucking help. But very specifically, my goddamn cohorts? Did being abandoned and forgotten teach you nothing? Were you not there in the same time frame that I was there? Because we had no fucking rights at all. And the rules, what rules? It depended on what mood disorder, what fucking alcoholism, drugs, sex, like, it depended on which combination of that shit showed up during the day. Like, if that isn't being raised under a fascist fucking regime, I don't know what is. What the fuck, Gen X? My God. Did you learn nothing? Did you learn nothing? As a wreck as my mother was, as wreck of a human that she was, and she beat my ass for this and this, that, she shouldn't have done that. but I understand. She got a credit card to some little department store that was in Amarillo, Texas in the 70s. She was so excited. She was so excited. And she wanted to take me to the store, and both of us were going to get some stuff, and she was going to put it on the card. She was so excited. Again, because of the way my brain had been configured through trauma at this point, I thought that it would be a great idea to hide the card, and it would be funny, and she'd just write a check. Right? It'd be a funny thing. Ha 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 ha. Ooh, these newfangled dangled credit cards. I don't know. I thought it would be funny. My mother. You need to understand, we did not live in Amarillo. We lived in Clarendon, which was a full hour away. Unbeknownst to me, this was my mother's first credit card that she had ever been allowed to have. And she got it in her name, and she got it without my dad's permission. Because she was planning on leaving him. And these were going to be some clothes to start our new life together before she dropped the divorce bomb on him. So there would be no check writing, because this was under the radar. So her fury at me. Gen X, are you still with me? Okay. Her fury, my mother's fury at me was because she was trapped with a piece of shit for a husband. She was not allowed to work because that would look weird. Okay? It would look weird because even though we lived in Clarendon, my dad was a lawyer. So, make sense of that. I mean, we didn't have much, but my mom didn't have to work. So, she was planning this life. She was stocking shit away. She was hoarding money. This was the first opportunity she had to be able to get a credit card, to be able to start credit so that she could get an apartment or something. Gen X, are you still there? This was my mother. My mother in the late 70s. And it took her until 81 to be able to have enough shit going on that she was secure that however it went down, because my dad either could have gone calmly or not. And she had to make sure that if it was the or not, she had her shit together. Are you still with me, Gen X? Huh? Okay, so another story time. If you didn't learn anything at all from growing up under a fucking oppressive boot, where the fuck were y'all? I got into a car accident. Lucky to be alive when I was 15, 16, 17. I don't know. The summer before my junior year. I don't know. Do the math. and I broke the wing of my hip. Okay? So I had to learn how to walk again. I went to my first day of junior year using a walker. Sexy. Okay? So my pelvis, my hip, my area where I could be fucking somebody was currently not operational. They gave me too many drugs in the hospital, and I started hallucinating. And because my friends were my friends and they're fucking punks and they're not going anywhere, my friend Mark was right there with me. And so he helped calm me down, he helped get me situated, and he climbed up in the bed to help. I was seeing leprechauns. So yes, he was in the bed with me. Yes, he absolutely was. Were we fucking with a broken hip? No, I don't believe that I was. Don't think that that's a thing that could happen. Especially since I was like vividly hallucinating at the time. But whatever. Nurse came in, opened the door, said, "Miss Courtney, that is not appropriate." Called my dad. So I was in Canyon, he was in Clarendon. That's about, I forget how long of a drive, but he made it in like half the time. That man called me every name and some creative ones because he thought that I had brought him shame because I was fucking someone in my hospital bed with a fucking cracked wing of the hip. If my mother had not been present, and pause in the story for a little. Where were you, fucking Gen X? Who raised you? The look on her face of absolute ecstasy. Because I had a pretty good relationship with my dad. Like, he and I vibed. Me and my mom, not so much. And she was so fucking jealous of that. And when he tore into me, oh my God, she just had this smile on her face. Like, finally. And I was looking to her. I mean, at least I knew that he wasn't going to honor kill me. Because I couldn't run, because, oh yeah, the wing of my hip was broken, cracked. So I literally could not run. And he sat there screaming at me with my mother like, because I was a whore and brought disgrace to his name. Who fucking raised y'all? Because I would imagine if your parents actually liked you, that probably would have, instilled a sense of love and fairness and kindness, and that your empathy would be like so intact because you wouldn't have had this horrific fucking trauma that I thought we all had. Not exactly like mine, because mine is mine. What's mine's mine, and what's yours is yours. And we don't need to compare. We don't need to say that one is bigger than the other. I just know that simply growing up in that time, simply being a teenager, simply being a child, feels like you're living under a fucking oppressive boot and you aren't allowed to make your own decision about anything. I thought just the experience of being a human being who feels like they have no rights, I thought just that shared human experience, the common thread of humanity, right? That we all know how awful that feels. We all know just we want freedom so badly. Like we can't wait. All we could talk about was, oh my God, as soon as I'm fucking out of here and I'm never going back, which we went back all the time, blah. But weren't y'all there? Weren't you at, oh, my dog is bringing me treats because I'm upset. You're so sweet. Like, who raised you? What kind of, you have got to explain to me what kind of trauma y'all suffered. Because again, if you suffered a trauma, you know what it's like to be traumatized. Okay? Oh, Lord God, y'all saved because my children have come into the backyard to play. Jesus just saved you. Oh